Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami
So as always, we will start by setting a proper motivation, consisting of 3 parts. While being mindful of both aspects, the objects that we visualize and the manner in which we visualize them. The first one is the refuge field. So in the space in front of you, visualize Shakyamuni Buddha, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are looking upon you with immense kindness and unconditional love, just as a mother looks upon her only child. Next is the Boddhicitta field. Around you visualize all the mode of sentient beings, starting with your mother on your left, father on your right. Try to visualize all sentient beings, leaving none aside. And this morning, you are leading them into these practices. The third part is to bring to mind the purpose of this practice. The purpose is to manifest the Buddha nature within you, which is the ultimate source of happiness, by removing the 2 mental obscurations, afflictive obscurations and cognitive obscurations. Where dear mother sentient beings are trapped in the vicious prison of cyclic existence, a vicious prison of the mind. In order to help them, to benefit them, to guide them unmistakably, we need to remove, uproot all the obscurations. We can recite the verse on page 3, the bottom of page 3. We'll try to read more slowly today. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chudam Soki Chonam La Janshu Bado Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Gipe Tsoknamki Jora Penchia Sangye Juparasho Sangye Chudam Soki Chonam La Janshu Bado Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Jinso Gipe Tsoknamki Jora Penchia Sangye Juparasho Sangye Chudam Soge Chonam La Janshu Bado Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Jinso Gipe Tsoknamki Jora Penchir Sangye Chuparasho. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separatedness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which, through the knowledge of all, leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which, through the knowledge of path, causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound the variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Hetum prabhava, hetum tesham tatagato hyavadat, Chanchayo niroda evam badir mahashramanaya swaha Om yedarama hetum prabhava hetum tesham tatagato hyavadat Chanchayo niroda evam badi mahashramanaya swaha Om yedarama hetum prabhava hetum tesham tatagato hyavadat Chanchayo niroda evam badi mahashramanaya swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The four seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha. The Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If you're attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no Boddhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the Founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst human, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 words, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Thus free like you, the 3 words are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy fields qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 thoughts, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. We turn to page 29, the Heart Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya triple gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on mass of virtuous mountain in Vajragiha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: how should any son of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the word of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Samgate Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Aragati Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Aragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha Om Gate Gate Aragate Parasangate Bodhiswa. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. We turn to page 35. Like yesterday, after each of the 8 verses, we'll stop for a few seconds to contemplate on the meaning. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind, wisdom eye, is blighted by ignorance. Turn to page 40, short mandala offering. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious Boddhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. Next page, the foundation of all good qualities. And again, after each verse, we'll pause for a few seconds to contemplate on the meaning. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Korok devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again, please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme Boddhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, the essence of the Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Rezi, Jeme Gembe, Wambo Jambe Yang, Gajen Gebe Zu Genzo Kaba, Lo Sandra Bin Jala Suwade Jerezi Jeme Kembe Wambo Jambe Yang Gajen Gebe Zu Gentong Gaba Lo Sandra Be Jala Suwade Mi Metse Vete Cheresi Jeme Geme Wamo Jambe Yang Gajen Gebe Zu Genzo Kaba Lo Sandra Be Jala Suwade. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losang Dragpa, at your feet I make prostrations. So next we'll do 5 minutes of single-pointed meditation, shamatha. Remember the instructions. First is the posture. 7-point posture of Buddha Varchana. Most important points being back to be straight, the eyes to be slightly open, not to be closed. The focal point. The errors of meditation. Excitement and laxity. And the remedies to those errors. Introspection and mindfulness. So we'll do this for 5 minutes. Next, we will try to generate a strong sense of compassion. Of renunciation. Strong aspiration for renunciation. Renouncing the miseries of samsara and their causes. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Those two poisons of the mind, which give rise to all our afflictions, making us engage, create negative karmas. So we remember the 4 seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. Remember gross impermanence. Think of all the people you have known in this life who already passed away. You can think of all the places that have disappeared, washed away by natural disasters. You can think of subtle impermanence, momentariness. If you take a flower, for example, it looks unchanging. But if you check, it's moving constantly, so fast. If you look, for example, at the atomic level, all contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. Everything is moving so fast, like a train driven by our self-grasping ignorance. This fast train is leading us to miseries. The counterforce to this self-grasping ignorance and those miseries is the wisdom of emptiness. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Everything is like a dream, like a hallucination, like an illusion. When we wake up, when we realize the nature of reality, the emptiness of objective existence. Get released. Transcending sorrow is peace. So for a moment try to generate a strong sense of renunciation, a strong desire to renounce all sufferings, particularly self-grasping ignorance, which is the root cause of all miseries. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And contemplate that all sentient beings are in the same boat. All sentient beings are also driven by self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, completely deluded by afflictions, constantly accumulating negative karmas, and experiencing the suffering results. Let us meditate on the four immeasurable thoughts. How good would it be if all sentient beings were endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness? Primary cause of happiness being Boddhicitta, which cherishes others more than oneself, and the wisdom of emptiness, independent origination. May all beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I take responsibility that all beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please bless me that I may be able to do so. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are so pleased with your commitment. They send forth nectars and soothing lights from their compassionate, omniscient minds. And upon touching you and all other sentient beings, everyone is granted immeasurable happiness and its causes. Out of great joy upon seeing all beings benefited, take 3 deep breaths, exhaling with a sigh of relief. How good would it be if all beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering, primarily self-grasping ignorance and a self-cherishing attitude. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. I myself take responsibility to free all beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please bless me that I may be able to do so. The Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are so pleased with your commitment. They send forth nectars of soothing lights from their compassionate, omniscient minds, and upon touching you and all other sentient beings, everyone is freed from miseries and their causes. Out of great joy upon seeing all beings benefited, take 3 deep breaths, exhaling with a sigh of relief. How good would it be if all beings were never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness? May all beings never be separated from the happiness and the causes of happiness. I take responsibility that all beings are never separated from happiness and the causes of happiness. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please bless me that I may be able to do so. The Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas are so pleased with your commitment. They send forth nectars and soothing lights from their compassionate, omniscient minds. And upon touching you and all other sentient beings, everyone is granted the stability of joy and its causes that are already endowed with. Out of great joy, upon seeing all beings benefited, take 3 deep breaths, exhaling with a sigh of relief. How good would it be if all sentient beings could abide in the state of equanimity, which is free of the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. May all beings abide in the state of equanimity, which is free of the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I take responsibility that all beings abide in the state of equanimity, free from biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please bless me that I may be able to do so. Visualize that the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas are so pleased with your commitment. They send forth nectars and soothing lights from their compassionate, omniscient minds. And upon touching you and all other sentient beings, everyone is granted a sense of equanimity towards all beings, embracing them equally, leaving none aside. Out of great joy upon seeing all beings benefited, take 3 deep breaths, exhaling with a sigh of relief. Abide in the experience of unconditional love and the commitment to become a Buddha to benefit all other sentient beings. Try to give rise to the thought, may I become a Buddha to benefit all my dear other sentient beings. We can say this 3 times together. May I become a Buddha to benefit all my dear other sentient beings. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear other sentient beings. May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear other sentient beings. Transform this Boddhicitta that you have generated into a horizontal moon disk at your heart. And on the basis of Boddhicitta, to unveil one's Buddha nature, we need to meditate on the wisdom of emptiness. which is the only liberating path, which removes the two mental obscurations, afflictive and cognitive obscurations. Try to remember how things are dreamlike, but existing from their own side. Nothing exists objectively. Nothing exists ultimately. And to reflect on emptiness, we will read the verses starting at the top of page 47. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like plantain trees. Whether they are released or not from sorrow, in the ultimate sense, there is no distinction. What is there to gain and what is there to lose? With things that are empty of true existence in this way, who is there to pay respect and who is there to abuse? From what are pleasures and pain derived? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When one searches for the ultimate nature, who is there to crave and what is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what has been? Who are friends and who are relatives? O you who are investigating reality, please recognize, as I have done, that all is just like space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by causes for conflict and overjoyed by the causes for pleasure. But, not finding happiness, they suffer, and in order to find it, they exert themselves. They argue with others, cut and stab one another. With many wrong deeds, they live in a state of great hardship. Even though they repeatedly come to happy existences and experience much pleasure there, upon dying they fall for a long time into the unbearable sufferings of the lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating comprehension of ultimate truth is rare. Furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and the understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. Yet, if, while in unconditioned existence, one does not realize this ultimate truth, one will continue to experience a limitless ocean of misery, unbearable and beyond analogy. Likewise, through not having realized emptiness, I have little strength for virtue, and one's human life of leisure and endowment is indeed very short. Also, one strives hard to live long and avoid illness. One is concerned with hunger, rest, and sleep. One is injured by others, and keeps meaningless company with the childish. Therefore, this life sweetly passes with no meaning, and it is very hard to find a chance to investigate reality. In this state, where is there the means to reverse the beginningless habit of grasping at true existence? Furthermore, devils are exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. There are many mistaken paths, and it is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the leisure of a human life again, and extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. It is hard to forsake this flood of afflictions. Alas, sentient beings will continue to suffer. Oh, indeed, it is worth feeling sorrow for those adrift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great misery, are unaware of the sufferings they go through. For example, some ascetics wash themselves again and again, and others repeatedly enter fire, but although they thereby suffer greatly, They assume themselves as being happy. Similarly, those who mistake their suffering for joy and live as though they were no aging and death are first of all killed by the Lord of Death, and then experience the unbearable misery of falling into the lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of those tormented by the fires of suffering with the rain of my accumulated happiness that has sprung from the clouds of my merits? And by having, in the manner of not objectifying existence, intensely will I gather the accumulation of merit. When will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad by the view of true existence? Reinforce the bodhicitta that you have generated. And reinforce the visualization of the spotless white moon disk that rests horizontally at your heart. Then visualize the wisdom of emptiness as a spotless white Vajra sitting vertically on top of the moon disk at your heart. Multiply the Vajra and the moon an infinite number of times and share this with each and every mother sentient being. Visualize that all sentient beings are joining us in each of the steps of this practice. This set of two bodhicittas, the conventional bodhicitta visualized as a moon and the ultimate bodhicitta visualized as a Vajra, also rests in the hearts of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of inviting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to the ceremony of taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vows, let us slowly stand up and make 3 prostrations. If you can kneel on your right knee. If it's painful, just make yourself comfortable. And with folded hands, we will recite the 3 verses on page 50. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated a mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated a mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have journeyed in the mind of Boddhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will journey in the mind of Boddhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in Bodhisattva practices. Imagine that you have received the aspirational Bodhisattva vow, and feel a deep sense of joy about this. Your gesture of taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow pleases the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that you have visualized in front of you, thereby invoking their omniscient minds and wisdom to manifest an infinite number of replicas of the sets of the moon and Vajra at their hearts. Like a deluge of rain shower, these replicas of the moon and Vajra descend and merge with the moon and Vajra that you have visualized at your own heart and at the hearts of all sentient beings. This stabilizes and blesses the two bodhicittas within you and within all sentient beings. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for making this ceremony possible, let us slowly stand up and make 3 prostrations to them. Please sit comfortably. And we will read on page 51. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas, even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas, even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddhas and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas, even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakening mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I have been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accordance with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakening mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torments of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churning of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival and pray and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May I, in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the two stages. From my two collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort that is practiced for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose wisdom mind is blighted by ignorance. Tiyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha Tiyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha Tiyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhiswaha. Let us make 3 prostrations and have a great day. Thank you.